Being easygoing is not a personality trait. If you are terrified of what happens when you disagree, you might pride yourself on being the chill partner. You might be the person who goes with the flow, never starts an argument, and can adapt to any social situation. People likely describe you as an incredible listener and a deeply empathetic friend. But if you look closely at your internal experience, you might notice that this flexibility does not feel like freedom. It feels like compulsion. You are not saying yes because you want to. You are saying yes because your body does not know how to say no without triggering a wave of panic. This behavior is often misidentified as kindness, generosity, or simply being a people pleaser. While those terms describe the surface behavior, they miss the root cause. In the context of relationship psychology, this is often a survival mechanism known as the fawn response. It is the fourth F in the trauma response system, sitting right alongside fight, flight, and freeze. To understand fawning, we have to look at how the nervous system handles threat. When a human being faces danger, the brain evaluates its options. If you are bigger than the threat, you fight. If you are faster than the threat, you flee. If you can do neither, you might freeze and play dead. But there is a fourth option, often developed in childhood environments where the threat was a parent or caregiver you depended on for survival. You could not fight them, and you could not leave them, so you learned to appease them. The fawn response is the instinct to merge with the needs of the threat to ensure your safety. It is the subconscious logic that says, if I can make you happy, you will not hurt me. If I can be exactly who you want me to be, I will be safe. Over time, this creates a profound disconnection from your own needs, desires, and even your own identity. You become a master at reading the room, but a stranger to yourself. This dynamic often follows you into adulthood and romantic relationships. You might find yourself dating someone and immediately adopting their hobbies, their opinions, and their schedule. If they love hiking, suddenly you love hiking, even if you hate the outdoors. If they are critical of a certain type of movie, you stop watching it. You are not doing this deceptively. You are doing it because your nervous system perceives difference as dangerous. It interprets any divergence from your partner as a prelude to rejection or conflict. One of the most exhausting aspects of the fawn response is hyper-vigilance. You become an expert at micro-expression analysis. You watch your partner's jaw to see if it is clenched. You listen to the tone of their footsteps as they walk through the door. You are constantly scanning for data that predicts their mood so you can adjust your behavior accordingly. If they seem stressed, you immediately become smaller, quieter, or more helpful. You try to fix their emotions before they even fully feel them. This creates a state of chronic physiological arousal. Even though you look calm and nice on the outside, your insides are racing. You are working incredibly hard just to exist in the same room as another person. This is why social interactions or long weekends with a partner can feel draining rather than restorative. You are not just hanging out, you are performing a high-stakes balancing act. Another clear signal of the fawn response is over-apologizing. You might find yourself saying, "I'm sorry," for things that are clearly not your fault. You apologize for the weather, for the traffic, or for your partner's bad mood. The apology is not an admission of guilt. It is a peace offering. It is a verbal shield. You are trying to de-escalate a potential conflict before it even begins. You take the blame because being wrong feels safer than being in a fight. Over time, this pattern creates a sense of hollowness. You might feel like a ghost in your own life. Because you have spent so much energy anticipating the needs of others, you may have no idea what you actually want. If a partner asks you where you want to eat, your mind goes blank. You genuinely do not know. You have suppressed your preferences for so long that the neural pathways to access them have weakened. You wait to see what they want so you can want it too. This merging is often mistaken for compatibility. In the early stages of dating, it can feel like you have found your soulmate because you agree on everything. But true compatibility requires two distinct individuals. The fawn response erases the you in the equation. Eventually, this leads to resentment. You might feel used or taken for granted. You might think, "I do everything for them, and they don't even ask about me." But the tragic irony is that you have trained them not to ask. You have taught them that you have no needs. It is important to recognize that fawning is a brilliant survival strategy for a child. It kept you safe. It kept the peace. It made you good in the eyes of volatile adults. But as an adult, this shield has become a cage. It prevents you from experiencing true intimacy because intimacy requires vulnerability. It requires showing your true self, including the parts that might disagree or disappoint. If you are always pleasing, you are never truly known. Breaking this cycle is not about suddenly becoming aggressive or selfish. It is about slowly reclaiming the territory of your own selfhood. It begins with noticing the impulse to appease. Catch yourself when you are about to agree to something you do not want to do. Notice the physical sensation of the fawn. It often feels like a tightness in the throat, a smile that doesn't reach the eyes, or a shrinking sensation in the chest. We can start with a practice called the micro-no. For someone with a fawn response, setting a big boundary feels life-threatening. So we start with low-stakes situations. Practice disagreeing on something that does not matter. If a friend says they liked a movie and you didn't, try saying, "I actually didn't enjoy it that much." Notice what happens in your body when you say those words. Your heart might race. You might wait for them to get angry. When they don't, when the conversation simply continues, your nervous system gets a tiny piece of data that says it is safe to disagree. You can also practice the pause. When someone asks you for a favor or an opinion, do not answer immediately. The fawn response is a reflex. It happens faster than thought. Buy yourself time. Develop a phrase like, "Let me check my schedule and get back to you," or "I need a minute to think about that." This pause allows your prefrontal cortex to come online. It gives you a chance to check in with what you actually want, rather than what you think they want to hear. Another aspect of healing is dealing with the guilt. When you stop fawning, you will feel guilty. You will feel like you are being mean. You will feel like you are letting people down. It is crucial to reframe this guilt. In this context, guilt is often just growing pains. It is the sensation of your old programming fighting against your new reality. It means you are doing something different. If you don't feel a little bit of guilt, you probably aren't setting a real boundary. You may also need to grieve the loss of the nice person identity. You have likely built your self-esteem around being the most helpful, easygoing person in the room. Letting go of that role can feel like a death, but you are trading the safety of being nice for the richness of being real. You are trading a transactional safety for genuine connection. As you start to show up as a separate person, your relationships will shift. Healthy partners will welcome your boundaries. They want to know the real you. They do not want a mirror, they want a companion. They will be relieved that they don't have to guess your needs anymore. However, relationships that were built on your submission may not survive your recovery. If someone only liked you because you never said no, they were not in a relationship with you. They were in a relationship with your compliance. Losing those connections is painful, but it is also a necessary clearing of the space for healthy love to enter. True belonging acts as the opposite of fitting in. Fitting in is changing yourself to be accepted. Belonging is being accepted for who you are. The fawn response is a desperate attempt to fit in. Healing is the courageous journey toward belonging. Remember that boundaries are not walls meant to shut people out. They are the gates that define where you end and the other person begins. Without that distinction, there is no relationship, only enmeshment. Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and love me simultaneously. Give yourself grace as you unlearn this pattern. You have spent a lifetime perfecting the art of being pleasing. It will take time to learn the art of being present. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to have an opinion that differs from the person you love. You are allowed to be inconvenient. Your safety no longer depends on your silence. It depends on your ability to back yourself up.